Hi, I'm Aqua Liao and welcome to Cobb TV. This week we have Cobb Commission Chairman Mike Boyce.
I'm back.
Well, we're glad that you're back. I know that we have lots of upcoming stuff. We have the budget vote, which is coming up on September 12th.
Tuesday morning, right?
And I know that that is the second public hearing that we're going to
Correct.
have, and
Right.
soon after that, the Board of Commissioners will vote on adopting that budget.
That's the plan right now, along with the 2040 plan, the same thing. And I think there's two different ways, there are two different products, so they have two different impacts. The budget vote on Tuesday will be basically a continuation budget from last year. We have had, in order to balance it, we've had to take some things out of the budget that we had in 2018, and we had to leave them out for further discussion later on. One of them was that we have pulled all the funding for the nonprofits. One of these programs the county's been supporting for 20 years, but the reality is that when you run out of money, you got to take it off to the side and find another way to pay for it if you want to pay for it. But it goes in line with what we've been doing since February. We have been taking a look at the county's support for nonprofits and narrowed them down into 4 major areas. And so if your nonprofit supports those areas, then you have a stronger likelihood of being supported by the county. And the idea there was to make the number of areas smaller, but to give them more resources to a job. And one of the other criteria is that, are you doing something that the county should be doing, but you do it better than we do and more efficiently? So we've been working with 2 of the major nonprofit groups for months now on those redefining those categories. They will be coming to the board, I believe, at the end of the month to give their presentations, since we are taking them out of the budget, to make their presentations so the board will reconsider funding some of them, if not all of them. There are other areas in the budget we pulled out. Obviously, I'm a big supporter of the staff, and my thought was that even though the pay study didn't address everybody, one way we could at least help some people that were not impacted by the pay study and got additional compensation, to give them a cost of living adjustment. But I didn't get a lot of support from the board members for that. So I pulled that out, and it's out there for consideration. How much, if I can get a third vote on that, it's kind of early to tell right now, but that's out of the budget. But I just want to let the staff know that I'm still committed to doing anything I possibly can through benefits or by compensation to acknowledge the terrific work and loyalty they have for this county. And one way we can do that, of course, is to pay them more and make sure we maintain their benefits. And there's some other issues out there that are left out. I don't want to just turn this into a budget discussion entirely, but it just goes to the fact that even though it's a continuation budget, the millage rate vote in July is impacting right away some of the services that we have been providing, and we're not going to wait a year to see what that impact is. You're going to get a very small taste for the future if the board continues to sustain this low millage rate, which is going to have an impact both on our ability to provide services and in other areas. The second issue is the 2040 plan. This is much different. This isn't, the vote for this one is simply to move it forward to the Atlanta Regional Commission. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's important that we have these plans in place, because then that makes us eligible for federal grants. And I'm well aware of the fact that federal grants are your dollars too. You pay your taxes and you benefit from them. But the bottom line is that if we didn't do this 2040 plan and we didn't submit it in a timely fashion, then we would not be eligible to receive these federal grants. It's your money, and we're just simply asking them to give it back so we can use here in this county. So we will take this, when we vote on this on Tuesday, again reflects 2 years of an ongoing process where we worked with the county people, nonprofit groups, groups that have a particular interest in certain function in this county, plus the county staff, plus the commissioners. This is a 2-year effort to produce this product, and I'm confident that on Tuesday the board will sustain that effort by voting for it to move it forward to the Atlanta Regional Commission so that they can review it. They'll give it back to us with their recommendations, and then we'll look one more time at it before it becomes a final product. But it is a critical plan, and it shapes the future for the county in a lot of ways.
Thank you, Chairman. And if you would like to see a copy of it, you can download it on www.cobbcounty.org. Now I have something that we're excited about in our office that I know it's on the agenda for next week, is the confirmation of our next communications director.
Ross Cavett.
Yes.
He's probably well known throughout the Atlanta area, certainly in Cobb County. He has been a reporter with WSB for a number of years. He's covered just about every major issue you could expect from Cobb County. So he brings an era of experience and knowledge about this county, which is critical. You know, one of the things I learned during the millage rate town halls is that we have to do a much better job of getting out in front of the public and taking our story to them. You know, with this time frame where we have had a gap in not having a communications director, and Aqua, I know you do a great job, but you know this is not your area, all right? But you've been a great job of filling it until we found a new communications director. But it's critical we get this this person approved on Tuesday. There are just so many things going on right now that he needs to bring together so we can come up with a campaign plan to get our story out first. There are a lot of good things happening in this county that people simply don't know enough about, and we need to let them know what it is they're getting for their tax dollars. As I told people, quality is not cheap. This is a 5-star county, and we simply can't run a county on a 3-star budget. But people are not going to give us the money for a 5-star county unless we go to them and tell them exactly what it is they're getting for their tax dollars. And we just need to do a better job at that. And I think Ross is going to bring that, both that experience level and professional ability to get that, to bring us together to start getting that message out, which is going to be really, really critical when we to vote on the millage rate next summer. Next summer's millage rate is going to be one of those defining moments in Cobb County history, when we're going to decide whether we're going to sustain the vision of Ernest Barrett by coming up with the resources to pay for that vision, or we're going to peel back that vision. And but the voters don't vote for something they don't know about, and if we don't have our story in line and convince them that what we're trying to do is in their best interest, then they have an absolute right not to vote for it. So we have a large responsibility here to get our message out, and we need to get going on it now.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, we are certainly looking forward to him joining our team. Well, this brings me to a segue of this month. September is National Preparedness Month.
Right.
And as we are talking about this, basically a lot of Georgia and most of Florida is getting ready for Hurricane Irma.
Yes.
And our GIS team, as well as our Cobb County Emergency Management team, they have been working really hard, and we've updated a bunch of information on our website, which is
terrific.
www.cobbcounty.org, and it's got a bunch of different information about where to go and where we have different shelters that are available, as well as we've got a web-based reporting tool that's called YourGov. We are encouraging residents that have any kind of damage from the incoming hurricane or bad weather to use that to report either down power lines or down trees.
Okay. Well, I think it's important that we get this out to the commissioners. They can put it on their newsletters also. But I cannot overemphasize that we need to take this hurricane seriously. The track, as I saw it today, it doesn't matter how much it shifts, we're going to get a lot of wind here in Cobb County. And I'm hoping we don't get associated rain with it. But Mother Nature has a way of dominating, you know, the news and doing whatever it wants to. And we should not take this hurricane lightly. Hurricane Harvey has reminded us that you can do a lot of planning, but you have to take decisive action early. And we have no excuse right now for people not to take those actions. We know it's coming. We know it's going to bring a lot of high wind. And I'm just asking people to take this hurricane seriously. We're in this county are already working with the state level about potential bringing evacuees here, both from Harvey and from Irma. So this is not one to take lightly. Enjoy your SEC football game or ACC football game of the weekend. But on Sunday, make sure you're ready for Monday, because Monday's going to keep us all on our toes to make sure that we can respond to the needs that we know are going to be out there caused by Mother Nature.
We have a bunch of different information that you can download from our website, which is www.cobbcounty.org/EMA. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.